So there was three radial ulnar joints: superior radial ulnar joint, middle radial ulnar joint, and inferior radial ulnar joint. Today I'll be speaking about the wrist joint. Okay, I'll be speaking about the wrist joint in proper and first metacarpal joint. Okay, that means joint of the thumb. Okay, thumbs up. So already you have learned about the humerus, you have learned about the radius and ulna. Mostly the classes of radius have been already posted by sir. So today I'd like to tell you about this articulated hand. Hope everybody can see this articulated hand properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So before going for the class proper, because if you don't know the carpal bones properly, you will not understand the class. So what I want to tell you is that here, this is the thumb. Okay, this is showing the bones of the thumb. So always start counting from thumb onwards. That means these are the carpal bones. These five are the metacarpals, and these are the, what are these? Phalanges.
Phalanges.
Now you compare this with my hand. Okay, so how many phalanges in thumb? Two. There are three phalanges in the other four digits. Okay, but here unfortunately there are only two. The last ones are missing. We could not find it because it's very small. Maybe the curator could not find it in, anyway. So just bear with me. And here some wires are placed. Now you see again my hand here. Where is the wrist joint? Here, isn't it? Then here will be the metacarpals. Exactly like that you get the metacarpals. So metacarpals are covered by the skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, muscles and neurovascular bundles. Okay, and inside you get this metacarpals. So today I'll be speaking about this wrist joint, that means with the proximal row, few bones along with the radius lower end, and also I'll be speaking about this carpo-metacarpal joint of the thumb. Okay, so before that I'd like to show you the bones. Now anybody who knows the bones of the carpal bones, 8 bones, anybody who can tell me? Anybody who can tell me?
Scaphoid.
Yes, scaphoid, I'll show you. One name you say, I'll show you here. This is scaphoid.
Lunate.
Lunate.
Very
Pisiform.
Trapezium.
Trapezium. Triquetral. No, trapezium is on the another line. Look, there are two layers. Okay. One is proximal layer, one is distal layer. So this is proximal layer and this is distal layer. The formula is teacher
Please.
ham, students like to play. Some people use some other formulas also.
Capitate.
So this is scaphoid, lunar, triquetral. Okay, and this tiny one here, this tiny one which is sitting on the back of the triquetral here, this is the pisiform. Okay, so usually the proximal row will have pisiform. You remember P for pisiform. Then always the names are from lateral to medial. You know, no, thumb is on the lateral side, digiti minimi on the medial side. Now you see next to the first metacarpal, this carpal bone is the trapezium. Okay, now there is a, because of the shape, it is trapezium. Next it is trapezoid.
Trapezoid.
It is more like a boot shape. Because it is articulated, you cannot see. Once you come back to college, I'll show you all these bones again. Then this is the capitate. Capitate, you can see properly. This is the largest carpal bone. You can see this is the head. Head will be lodged in the proximal layer. So capitate, it wears a cap. Where do you wear a cap? On the head. So this is done. It is king of the carpals, you remember, because it is the largest bone here. Then you get the hammer. This is the dorsal surface and this is the ventral surface. Why I'm saying, because in the hammer you get a hook here. You identify the hammer bone by a hook, and this is important for attachment of the retinaculum, flexor retinaculum. Okay, so again from this side I'm showing you trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hammer, scaphoid, lunate, triquetral, pisiform. Is it clear?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
clear?
Yes.
So I have shown you the thing. So, and this is number 1 metacarpal, number 2 metacarpal, number 3, number 4, number 4. And these are the phalanges. 2 phalanges in thumb and 3 each digit. Okay? Clear now? Okay, let me go back to my class now. So I'd like to start the topic with a beautiful picture. I got it in WhatsApp. Protect yourself from negative messages and fake news. Actually, nobody expected this second wave so badly. All of you suddenly left home and it's little depressing every morning. I stopped watching news. I stopped reading newspaper also. And one message: stay home, stay safe. So today I'll be speaking about the wrist joint, which is also called as radiocarpal joint. Why radiocarpal joint? Because this is the radius, okay, and these are the carpals which articulate with the radius. Is it clear to you? So that's why it is called radiocarpal joint. It is a biaxial ellipsoid joint. So any joint, as I told you from the very beginning, whenever you read a joint, first thing you have to speak about the type of joint. So what type of joint is this? Biaxial ellipsoid joint. This ellipsoid structure is because of the surfaces. This is my hand-drawn diagram. Actually, I could not find it exactly what I wanted, so I had drawn this. This is lower end of radius. This is lower end of ulna with the head and the styloid process. This is the styloid process of the radius. This is scaphoid, lunar, triquetral, pisiform. Okay, this is the proximal row. Proximal row, pisiform, you remember like that. And trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hammer. Okay, so this is the lateral layer and this is the ulnar side. Is it clear? And last time we learned about the inferior radial ulnar joint, which is between the lower end of radius and ulna, and it involves the head of the ulna with the ulnar notch of the radius. I hope you remember that. And one important structure we learned was the articular disc. The same diagram I had showed you last time also. And this articular disc will separate the head of the ulna from this lunar, triquetral and pisiform. Do you notice that pink color? Okay. So that's
Yes.
why the ulna is not involved in the region. Is it clear, all of you? Samyukta. Today roll number 1 is there. That day he was absent. Now I don't have time to check the roll number. Roll number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
You take the attendance today. And from girls side, I'll tell whom. Vaishnavi. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, both
Yes,
of you
ma'am.
take the roll numbers. You see, check the roll numbers. And don't include the numbers who comes after half an hour. So, I think it's very clear to you now. So, the wrist joint is between the lower end of radius and scaphoid and lunate. And rest of the thing will be formed by the articular disc. Okay. So, head of the ulna and the styloid process are not involved in the wrist joint. And another thing is clear here is that inferior radioulnar joint is therefore not included in the wrist joint. Okay. What I told you with elbow joint capsule will include the joint of the superior radioulnar joint, isn't it? But here the inferior radioulnar joint is separate from this joint. Please remember this important point. So proximal surface presents an ellipsoid socket formed by the distal articular surface of the radius and articular disc of inferior radioulnar joint. I hope you remember, all of you, this diagram. So this is the articular sockets of the radius, which will articulate with the scaphoid and lunar, and then there will be the role played by the articular disc. So this articular disc will separate the head of the radius, head of the ulna from the ulnar joint. Okay. Now coming to distal surface. So proximal surface over distal surface. Convex formed by, it is convex, scaphoid, lunar, triquetral, and interosseous ligaments which ties the three bones. Okay, these are called interosseous ligaments or intercarpal ligaments. Okay, all bones will go here and there. No, so many small bones. They have to be tied together. Those are, you can see green color here I have put. This pisiform bone does not form the articular surface. Remember, scaphoid, lunar, and triquetral. The diagram itself speaks better. Then we finished with the type and the articular surface. Next important is the ligament. So wrist joint is a synovial joint. All of you agree that? So as it is a synovial joint, it has to have a capsule with a synovial membrane. So here the capsular ligament is separate from the inferior radioulnar joint. I already told you that. It surrounds the joint and attached close to the peripheral margin of the proximal and distal articular surfaces, including the articular disc. Is it clear now? The diagram, if you notice properly, you can understand what is written here. Okay. So the head of the ulna is excluded from the joint by the articular disc. Just remember, superior radioulnar joint is found within the joint capsule of elbow joint, but inferior radioulnar joint is separate from wrist joint. This is one concept you should have. Next, I'll show you the different other ligaments. My eyes start watering if I don't wear the sticks. Anyway, so these two diagrams, this is the ventral surface. By seeing the lower end of radius, I guess you can understand this is the ventral surface or palmar surface. And this is the dorsal surface. What is this? Anybody can tell me? Yesterday only sir uploaded your class.
Listus
Dorsal-
tubercle
Yes.
Dorsal tubercle.
Tubercle.
or
of-
listus
yes.
tubercle.
Sir,
Yeah, it's-
dorsal tubercle of
This is the dorsal surface. This is the
Cluster.
ventral surface. So we are discussing about this area. What is this? Palmar radiocarpal ligament, and this is dorsal radiocarpal ligament. So next, what you get, capsule will blend with the palmar and dorsal radiocarpal ligament. How they do? They extend infero-medially. Though the diagram is ulta, it is like this, but actually your hands will be down now. So that's why infero-medially from lower end of radius to same surface of proximal row of carpal bones. And this is what irritating actually. In between the class also I keep admitting students. Same surface of proximal row of carpal bones to capital. Okay. It ensures maximum functional use of hand during pronation and supination. Okay. So some amount of supination pronation also happens here. Now again the same diagram and little bit of the other diagram I'm showing you so that you understand. Radial collateral ligament. Now till now how many ligaments I said? It is the capsule and intervening synovial membrane that I didn't mention there, but you know as it is already. Then what I said? Dorsal radiocarpal ligament and ventral radiocarpal ligament. Then what is the radial collateral ligament? Always remember this word collateral will be on the side. Later on also when you study joints of the lower limb, excuse me, that time also you will see collateral ligaments, usually the ligaments which are on the side. So RCL, this is not a group of IPL match. This is RCL is radial collateral ligament. UCL means ulnar collateral ligaments. Okay. So radial collateral ligament is a thickening of the lateral part of the capsule. It extends from the styloid process of radius. That means you can see this green color. So styloid process of radius to scaphoid and trapezium. So this whole thing here, that is here. Is it clear, guys? So this is called the radial collateral ligament. Now what is ulnar collateral ligament? It will be on the ulnar side. This one. Okay. So ulnar collateral ligament extends from the ulnar styloid process. This is the ulnar collateral ligament. Okay. Ulnar carpal collateral ligament, same thing. You can tell carpal collateral or ulnar collateral ligament directly. So it extends from the scalar process of ulna to the triquetral bone and PC. Now here the PC form is coming into play. Okay, now? Is it here? So ulnar collateral ligament. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Suddenly some. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
By mistake, actually some screen came and by mistake I muted myself. Anyway, so we finished with the type of joint. What is the type of joint?
Biaxial ellipsoid.
Biaxial ellipsoid joint, which is of the shape of the articular surface. What is the articular surface? This is the lower sockets of the lower end
Radius.
and the articular disc in the proximal row. Then distal row is by scaphoid, lunate, and triquetral bone.
Tricot.
Then ligaments, we got what? Capsule with the surrounding intervening synovial membrane. Then we got
Dorsal carpal ligament.
dorsal palmar ligament and ventral ligament. Then
Radial collateral.
Radial
ligament.
collateral ligament.
okay. Next is the arterial supply, palmar and dorsal carpal arches. So this topic will be taught to you. Actually, it was today only, but there's some madam was had to go somewhere, so I'm taking this topic anyway. So you'll be learning about superficial palmar arch, deep palmar arch, then all this total arterial supply of hand. That time you'll understand better. Today, you just remember that it is supplied by palmar and dorsal carpal arches. Okay, arches means these are the arches. Okay, these are branches of radial artery and ulnar artery. Nerve supply, anterior and posterior interosseous nerve. Can anybody tell me what are the branches? These branches of which nerve? Anterior and posterior.
Interosseous recurrent.
No. Anterior and posterior interosseous nerves. Flexor retina, flexor group of muscle, extensor group of muscles.
Common interosseous artery.
Artery, I'm asking nerve.
No.
Radial superficial and interosseous nerve, no? Radial nerve. Okay, anyway, we'll once you have to revise the flexor compartment and extensor compartment, I guess. Whatever, the whole median nerve, radial nerve and ulnar nerve separately will be discussing. That time also we will be telling you this. Okay, don't worry. So relations, in front, beneath the deep fascia, structures are arranged in superficial flexor carpi radialis, humerus longus, flexor carpi ulnaris. Now, one thing what I want to say is that all of you know the region, which area. So what you get is the flexor retinaculum there. So some ligaments, all these muscles, flexor carpi radialis, humerus longus, flexor carpi ulnaris, okay. Then intermediate median nerve, radial nerve, 4 tendons of flexor digitorum superficially. Then deep planes, flexor pollicis longus, anterior interosseous vessels and nerve, and flexor digitorum profundus. Now, do you realize where were all these 3 layers? Where were all these 3 layers? 3 groups of muscles in where? Flexor compartment, isn't it? Flexor compartment of forearm. They were arranged this way. So they were arranged this way, and exactly they will enter the hand below the flexor retinaculum, and few structures will be above the flexor retinaculum. Okay. So all these things will be related to the region. Okay, because the flexor retinaculum is attached itself in the carpal bones on the radial side and medial side. Understood? So superficially in the in front it is that. Now behind again the radius bone. You remember yesterday sir told you in the lower part of the radius bone. You remember 6 osteofibrous compartments are found. How is it formed? By the attachment of intermuscular septa from the extensor retinaculum. Do you agree with me? So these, can you hear me guys?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. So these osteofibrous compartments, now it will be like a revision to you, see one by one. From the lateral to the medial side, abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis. Extensor carpi radialis longus. Extensor carpi radialis brevis. Extensor pollicis longus and extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, posterior interosseous nerve, anterior interosseous artery, extensor digiti minimi. And what is the last? Extensor carpi ulna. So you agree now? So these 6 osteofibrous compartments, they will be sending down the 6 compartments will send all these tendons. And the muscles are found where? In the extensor compartment of the forearm. And these will be covered by the extensor retinaculum. So that's why behind, that means on the posterior aspect, it will be related to the posterior surface of the wrist joint. Now coming to movements and muscle. So before going to the movements and muscle, I want to say something. I can't find these icons. I don't know. Can you see me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the screen and me or only me?
Only you, ma'am.
Only you, ma'am.
Yeah, then that only I wanted to try. So now this is what? My hand. Okay. Is it looking like right hand or left hand?
Right hand.
Yeah, that's why. It's my left hand, but I wanted. Now I'll show you movements of the region. Notice the angulation also. What is this? Flexion. Okay. This is, what is this? Extension. Flexion, extension. Which is more? This is more, isn't it? This is extension. Now towards my face, this is adduction.
Adduction.
Abduction. Clear, all of you? So this is flexion, extension, adduction, abduction. Can everybody do? I'm looking at everyone now. I have stopped my screen share. All of you try once. Then what is this? Ghumar, ghumar.
Circumduction.
Ghumar, ghumar. So you have some dancers in your class. So all this dancing, it will be required all this movement. So circumduction is nothing but flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. Do you agree with me?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Yes,
these
ma'am.
are the movements of the region. Okay. Now after that, I'd like to tell you about the movements of the muscles and the muscles which cause the movements of the region. Can you see the screen now?
No, ma'am.
You can see. You can see me only.
Ma'am.
Now,
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
okay. Just hold on. I'll check something went wrong. Actually, I'm not finding the icons here. Can you see the screen now? John, answer it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry for the delay. Yeah. I got some time to drink little water. So all of you tried the movements? Did you try the movements?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hmm. I had two girls in the first stretcher. I forgot the names now. Sorry. One is Bharatnatyam dancer, one is Kuchipudi dancer. So you can try next time. You can send your videos. You can have a good time. All depressing news are coming every day. Let's see now. So if you do the movements, flexion is 85 degree almost. Do you agree with me? So almost 90 degree it is coming to. But what is the important thing is that it is more in the mid-carpal joints than the wrist joint. So it will occur in the wrist joint as well, but it will also occur in the mid-carpal. Mid-carpal means in between the carpal joints. That is called mid-carpal. Okay. And muscles are flexor carpi, radialis, and ulnaris, and assisted by flexor digitorum superficialis, profundus, flexor pollicis longus, abductor pollicis longus. Okay, this will take some time for you all to mug up. So just try. Then extension is 60 degree. Now you understood why I said look at the angulation. And extension is purely at the wrist joint. Extensor carpi radialis brevis and longus. Extensor carpi ulnaris assisted by extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, extensor pollicis longus, and extensor digitorum minimis. అయిపోయింది ఎందుకు పోయినావు నువ్వు So Abduction. Abduction is 45 degree. Agree now? Sorry, adduction. Adduction is 45 degree. Abduction is 15 degree. Okay. So adduction completely happens in wrist joint, flexor carpi ulnaris and extensor carpi ulnaris. Abduction is 15 degree, and this also occurs mostly in the mid-carpal, abductor pollicis longus and flexor carpi radialis, and extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis. Okay. So one thing you notice, both flexor muscle and extensor muscle here also, flexor muscle and extensor muscle. And when it is abducted, the abductors are used. When it is adducted, adductor muscles are used. Okay. Now circumduction, what is there? As I told you, flexion, adduction, extension, abduction, or reverse. Okay. Now something important I want to tell you here. Most of the time when we are working, okay, it is not the anatomical position. Whenever we are working, the extension and abduction are anti-gravity movement. Okay, you can try it yourself. So what God has given, we are blessed with two extensors muscles on the radial side. Okay, the digitorum, extensor digitorum, it will go to 4 digits. Okay, beside that, extensor indicis is there and extensor digiti minimi. Do you agree with me? So we have these two very important functions. So we have extra. Mind your business, we tell like that, isn't it? So much we use index finger and little finger. We have extra two extensor muscles, and that makes the movement easier. Okay. Now, like all the joints, I have told you about the spinal segments. Here, the wrist movement occurs in spinal segment, cervical 6 and 7. So we have learned with the movements and muscle, all the different movements I have told you. You may be saying, I didn't tell you about the relation here. Relation is actually, the class is not over. So that's why I didn't bring any diagram here or theory. Once the flexor compartment of hand, and then the palm will be taught, and the flexor retinaculum, extensor retinaculum, at that time you can correlate the joint with that. Okay. So applied anatomy, very important is the pollice fracture. It is a transverse fracture line will be seen, and distal end of the radius will be dislocated, and this dislocation is called Wiener-Fock deformity. It will be like this. Okay, this will be like this, the hand. So while reducing, we have to pull this proximal end to one side and distal end. They will pull and they will approach. Okay, this can be done in the very easily in the minor OT itself, and then plastering. The most difficult part here is that Smith fracture. Now, why difficult? I'm saying reverse pollice. So fall on the back of the hand. Now, what happens? Sometimes people, if they're negligent or they don't read the X-ray properly, so this pollice fracture and Smith fracture may be confused. I have a personal experience. One of my friends fell down from scooter, and it was nearby hospital. We went there, but they misjudged and they did the treatment for pollice. 3 weeks later, he came to me saying that I'm having pain in my wrist joint here, and I saw the swelling. I felt it. He said it was pollice. Then I got doubt. Then I sent him to one of my best teacher, orthopedics there, Dr. Bhatta sir. So there we came to know actually it was a Smith fracture. Immediately he was taken to the minor OT. He was reduced. Of course, he had a lot of pain because 3 weeks means already some amount of bone growth happened. But luckily he was diagnosed and reduced and plastered, and after a few days he was fine. Okay. So it is very important for you to see and read the history. That's why I have written here, fall on the back of hand. History is important. Then X-ray you should know how to read well and judge and give treatment. Next important point, rheumatoid arthritis, collagen tissue of the hand will be involved. Then ganglion. What is a ganglion? These tendons are there, no? Or extensor tendons are there. And on the tendon, there may be a cystic swelling, mucous degeneration of the synovial sheath, and usually it happens due to injury. So sometimes it will be aspirated, or sometimes, very small, you can ask, keep on massaging, it goes off also. I've experienced that. So aspirated between the tendons of extensor pollicis longus and inversus. Immobilized in 30° of dorsiflexion. Most of the immobilization happens at the 30° of dorsiflexion. Okay. So Colles fracture, Smith fracture, rheumatoid arthritis, ganglion immobilization. I told you. So we have come to the end of this joint. Can you just revise a little? So it is a biaxial ellipsoid joint. People are still coming. One topic is over. Gopal. Shriya Reddy.
Yes, ma'am.
So biaxial ellipsoid joint, isn't it? Which are the carpal bones that are included in this joint?
Scaphoid,
Lunar and triquetral.
triquetral.
Pisiform is not involved. Okay. Then next, Samprit is there today. Samprit. He was not there that day also. Okay, roll number 2. Look, if you don't answer, I'll give you absent even if you are present. So what are the ligaments we learned? Capsular ligament, palmar ligament, dorsal ligament, ulnar collateral ligament, and
Radial collateral ligament.
then relations, not much I told you. So whatever related under the cover of extensor retinaculum and flexor retinaculum. Okay, all those tendons and neuromuscular bundle. Then I told you about the movements. Already I showed also. Hope you can remember very well. Why I have shown you specifically, because it will be asked in the exam to show the movements and the wrist joint, movements of the elbow joint, movements of the shoulder joint. Even now, carpometacarpal joint specifically I'll show you. Okay. Now, here also we'll be learning the type of joint, articular surfaces, relations, arterial and nerve supply, muscles, movements, and apply. It's a very small, tiny one. The same here, what I showed you here, no, just few minutes back. This same thing in a diagram. I'll just revise a little. So now we'll be discussing this joint. Okay. So if you see the proximal layer, that is the scaphoid. Scaphoid is like a saddle shape like this. Okay. Lunate is like a lunar. Lunar month means crescent moon. Okay. Then triquetral and pisiform. Then pisiform is a sesamoid bone. Do you know that? Example of
Yes,
sesamoid
ma'am.
bone? Pisiform bone is actually a sesamoid bone, and it develops in the tendon of, anybody who can tell me which tendon?
Extensor, flexor carpi.
Flexor carpi ulnaris.
Ulnaris.
Flexor carpi
The
ulnaris.
patellar bone.
Patella is in the lower bone. That is
Knee joint.
that is in the knee joint, and in the hand, this is the pisiform bone, is also an example of. So it's a tiny one. Here you can see very tiny bone. You see this small tiny one here, just around 4 millimeter size, I guess. Next, the distal row, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. So these trapezium and the first metacarpal, they will form the joint. Now all of you agree. If you look at my hand now, all 4 are together, and this is a free hand, isn't it? And because this finger is free, we are not like monkeys. Isn't it? Monkeys will be just hanging here. They will be doing everything like this. Do you agree with me or not? They will be doing everything like this. That's why this is called eighth hand. You learn, no? This is called eighth hand. So in our hand, we can do thumbs up, we can do anything. We can hold the things, we can do finger counting, everything. Why this is happening? Because this thumb is free. Okay, why the thumb is free? Because we have a separate joint here, and this is very important. And these I'll be showing in the future pictures. The ligaments will be tying, transverse ligaments, they will tie all these 4 metacarpals together, but this will be free. So thumb is free for us. Okay, and because the thumb is free, we can do fine work. We can do fine work, we can do tough work, everything. So that makes the human different. Okay. So this joint is saddle or sellar type of synovial joint. Saddle shape means like on the horse, when you do horse riding, you put saddle, no? The shape is like that. Okay, because of the base of the first metacarpal and the trapezium. It is separate from the other what is this? Carpo-metacarpal joints. Why it is separate? Because these 4 are tied by a common transverse ligament. Articular surfaces are that of trapezium and the first metacarpal bone. So this is trapezium, this is first metacarpal bone. You agree no? This is a synovial joint? Agree or not?
Yes, ma'am.
पूरा घुमा के रहेगा. So that is a synovial joint because it is movable. Okay. Now you see here, you realize this now? I told you now. These are all tied together by deep transverse metacarpal ligaments, but this is free. It is not tied together. So this is completely free, and this is the joint. This is the capsule. This is the capsule. This is trapezium. This is base of the first metacarpal. So capsular ligament, it is little loose but very strong. Envelops the joint completely and attached close to the articular surface of the trapezium and the base of the first metacarpal. Okay, very simple. Now the same previous diagrams where why I brought here to show you the lateral ligaments. You agree this is lateral side, this is ulnar side? Because this is radius, this is ulnar, isn't it? So this is the lateral aspect and this is the medial aspect. Here also you can see. So this is dorsal aspect, this is the ventral aspect. Lateral ligaments connect the lateral side of trapezium to the radial side of the first metacarpal. This one. Then dorsal and palmar ligaments. So these are the palmar ligaments and these are the dorsal ligaments. These are oblique bands. You can see this is the trapezium, this is the base of the first metacarpal. So from the trapezium to the base, it will go obliquely. You agree with me? So it will go obliquely. So oblique bands from trapezium converge to the ulnar side of the base of the first metacarpal. So how many ligaments you got? How many ligaments you got?
3.
4.
4 ligaments.
Capsule,
Dorsal and palmar.
Capsular, lateral,
Ah,
dorsal and
dorsal
dorsal palmar,
and palmar.
ligament. Okay. So 4. I didn't mark this time. Purposely I didn't put the numbers because you all are big students now. I think. So together you can write this because same only, but total 4. Okay. Very short, very small. Actually, first carpo-metacarpal joint comes for short note. But surgically it is very important. That's why I'm taking the class today. And today actually end of the orthopedics class. So all joints will be over today of upper limb. Then we'll go for the nerves. Arterial supply, radial artery. Why you tell me radial artery? Radial artery is felt here, isn't it? You can feel the pulse. So it is supplied by this is the joint, isn't it? Can you feel it? This is the joint. So it will be supplied by the branches of the radial artery. Now why median nerve? You know that these 3 fingers and half of this finger is supplied by median nerve and 1.5 is supplied by ulnar nerve. Okay. Palm is not taught yet. That's why I'm saying 1, 2, 3 and half of ring finger. 3.5 is supplied by median nerve, 1.5 by ulnar nerve. So this area will be supplied by median nerve. Is it clear, girls, boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the picture. In the wrist joint, I didn't show you because the same picture. So these will be taught to you now. Okay. Flexor retinaculum is taught to you. Is it taught?
No, ma'am.
Flexor and extensor retinaculum. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Huh? Someone said something. Anyway, so what I was talking about previously is the wrist joint here, and then I'm talking about the first metacarpophalangeal joint. So when you do the dissection, you have to cut the skin, then you get the superficial fascia, you get a superficial muscle here called palmaris brevis, okay? And here, because we are talking about the thumb, you will get all the thenar group of muscles, okay? This is flexor retinaculum. So this is attached to the carpal bones. So all these ligaments and nerves, some will be ulnar nerve and artery will be superficial. Again, some more vessels will be superficial. Palmaris longus tendon will be superficial. But whatever, everything will be related in the flexor and extensor compartment of the wrist joint. Then here relations for this will be this. Okay. So radial artery is here. So the joint is supplied by radial artery. Is it okay for you now? And this is the median nerve. Median nerve is coming to 1, 2, 3.5. So it is supplied by branches of median nerve. Now you will listen to some muscles which you haven't been taught yet. So I want to have some patience. So all the long muscles were present in the flexor compartments. Tendons are coming here and going to the fingers. You agree? What is this called? Singham. Oh. Singham, na? So superficial and deep muscles are here and all are coming to the digits. Now what is present in the palm? Palm will have small tiny muscles. Okay? And those are called brevis muscles. So here all the names what you are going to see now are brevis muscles. Since the class has not been over, so I'm saying now, but later on, once the class is over, you can repeat this topic again. Do you agree with me, Vamshi? Vamshi, Vamshi, 41 roll number. He went to eat idli or simply he is attending the class is not there. Vamshi. Then behind extensor pollicis longus brevis. Vamshi,
Ma'am,
where did you go? I was calling you. Okay, see, in front, abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis brevis, and opponens pollicis. What is pollex? Pollex is nothing but thumb. Thumb is called pollex. So behind extensor pollicis longus and brevis. Laterally, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and medially, first dorsal interossei muscle, entry of radial artery into the palm through the triangular gap in first dorsal interossei. All these interossei muscles I will take you after few days. They're the innermost muscle. Before that, few more classes will be there. So all these muscles will come across now. So you'll be learning. Revise this class after 1 week again, please. Now again, movements and muscle. So I'll stop share again just to show you the movements and muscles. Why I'm doing this? Because it's very important. I want all of you to do the movements along with me. Because if I would have been in the dissection, in the theory class, and all of you in front of me, I would have been doing the same thing. So all of you just straighten your back. Done? Amruta? Vamshi? Pranayani?
madam,
Can you open your videos? I want to see your faces a little because so many days I haven't seen you. Manasa? Vaishnavi?
Yeah, ma'am.
You can on your video, no? Few of you at least. I can see. Ah, very good, Vamshi. All of you do like this now. Put your palm like this. All of you put your palm like this. All of you, huh? You stop. I am bring the thumb towards the index finger. Bring the thumb towards the index finger. Actually, I have already shown this in my stretcher. I hope you remember. Roll number 1, you remember? I showed you already. Isn't it? Yeah, I already showed you in the very beginning when you came to the thing, but again I'm showing you today. So why I'm bringing the thumb in front of index finger? Because as I showed you, all these fingers, all these 4 fingers, they are in same plane. But this is ultimate moving. Okay. So this is in a separate plane. To make the movement, you have to bring it to the same plane. So you bring the thumb to the index finger, opposite. So the thumb is adducted now. You agree with me? The thumb is adducted. This is called adduction. Exactly 90 degree if you do, this is abduction. Adduction, if you bring towards the index finger, it is called adduction. Exactly 90 degree, this is called abduction. Samyukta, Vamshi, all of you please on your videos and do along with me so that I feel that I'm in the theory class, lecture hall. Yeah, good. Okay. So now, what is flexion? Flexion, if you bring the thumb towards the, this is little not same like the other flexion, okay? In elbow joint, it is flexion like this. But here, thumb is coming towards the digiti minimi. This is called flexion. This is flexion and exactly opposite is the extension. So bringing to the digiti minimi is flexion, exactly opposite is extension. So what I told you? Flexion, extension, bringing to the index finger. This is the adduction and exactly opposite is abduction. Here, this will be asked in Viva, mind it. That's why I'm teaching you now itself. Pranayini, on your video. Now, what is opposition? Most of the muscle name you saw opposition. Opponent's pollicis, opponent's digiti minimi. So it will be here. Digiti minimi muscles will be here and up here will be. Okay. So when you do finger counting now, 1, 2, 3, 4. For doing finger counting, what you are doing? You are taking the thumb to the digiti minimi. That means you are flexing it and you are also adducting. So flexion plus adduction, this is called opposition. Okay, opposition, finger counting movement. It is the other name is called finger counting movement. So you got adduction, abduction, flexion, extension, and finger counting movements. So for this, you have the movements. Okay, is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
many of you did the movements? Only few of you. Only few of you have on the videos. Anyway, no problem. If you are sincere, you will do well in life. You can see the screen now?
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
see the screen? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
This time I'm okay. Last, actually, sometimes these students keep on admission. While admitting them, that time I press something else. So now you see the muscles, okay? So what are these muscles which cause the flexion is the flexor pollicis brevis and opponens pollicis. These are the prime movers. It will be assisted by flexor pollicis longus. I have made screenshot. You can take a screenshot at the end of the slide. All very small, what is a shortcut. Okay. So extension, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and assisted by extensor pollicis longus in full extension. Whatever I have put in bracket are the assisted muscles. Abduction, abductor pollicis longus and brevis. Okay. Adduction, adductor pollicis. Adductor muscles will be exactly in the middle of the palm. Actually, I've been taking video, little bit editing is left. I have already taken video for the scapular region, arm, forearm, cubital fossa. Only palm is left. Once after the editing is over, I will post it to your group. Because during this exam, when I was taking the exam, I decided to do that. I'll be posting very soon, part by part. And later on, when you come for exam, when you appear for minor, minor means the limbs, that time you can take help of those videos. Okay, I'll share the link very soon. Now is opposition. What I said opposition? Opposition is not opposition party BJP Congress. Okay, this is finger counting movement. So a finger counting movement is initiated by abductor policies longus and brevis, maintained by flexor policies brevis and opponents policies. So this brings to the end of my class. Today, quite a lot of activities happen in the class, I guess. So I told you about the wrist joint and I told you about the first carpo metacarpal joint. That is the joint of the thumb. Okay, why thumb is different? I hope you understood. So what type of joint is this? Vaishnavi, what type of joint is this? It is a saddle joint or
Saddle.
Synovial.
2 minutes. Quick. Saddle joint or cellar joint. Okay, if you don't remember cellar also no problem. You simply write saddle joint. Okay. Then what are the articular surface? Trapezium and the base of the first metacarpal. Okay. Then ligaments. It is a synovial joint, so it will have a capsule with a synovial membrane lining. Then you have the palmar and dorsal
Dorsal ligament.
Ligament.
yeah, and the
Lateral.
side joints.
Lateral
And
ligament.
movements already I told you: flexion, extension, abduction, and opposition. Opposition is nothing but finger counting movements. And all the muscles you have to write and practice. Then you remember a little bit. Once you learn the palm muscles, it will become more easy for you. Okay. So thank you so much for patient hearing. I want to leave today with a beautiful saying. They're telling me the virus is everywhere. I told them so is God. So God bless you all. Be safe, be happy, and
Thank you, ma'am.
okay, bye. See you. See you soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Don't roam around. Okay. Bye.
Ma'am,
Chepo. Say.
ma'am, dissection videos. What about dissection?
That only I said no just now. I have already done the video. I took up to the forum. Palm is still left to take the video. Those videos, little bit editing is there.
Ma'am,
Little bit of editing is there, so I'll edit and very soon. Okay. Maybe by tomorrow or day after. Okay. Bye. Another class is about to start. Bye.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Bye.